I know you are all anxious to get today's Nextel Cup race started, so I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I want to congratulate Bruton Smith, the chairman of Speedway Motorsports, Eddie Gossage, the president and general manager of the Texas Motor Speedway, and everyone at the Speedway as you celebrate your 10th anniversary of racing. I also want to recognize the fine work of the Texas chapter of Speedway Children's Charities. Since 1997, you've provided more than $3 million to children's charities. I appreciate all you're doing to bring hope and opportunity to the children in North Texas. The Texas Motor Speedway is one of the fastest tracks on the NASCAR circuit. Over the past decade, this speedway has seen a lot of thrilling races, and I'm sure that today's Samsung RadioShack 500 will be another great one. Now it's my honor to get this race going. Gentlemen, start your engines.
His car is his teammate, the 25, Brian Vickers, is slowing on the racetrack. Jeff says the car is just so incredibly loose off the corner. He loses so much time through the center, and then he just loses even more time off the corner.
Brian Vickers dropped to the apron in turn 1.
And guys, it looks like an engine problem, and the 25 seems to be the Hendrick car that continues to have engine problems. Not on a regular basis, but this would be about the third or fourth problem they've had.
He is going to make it to pit road without bringing it.
That was right in front of those boys right there. And how many times this year have we seen this? Greg Biffle dominant and ends up with a huge problem.
Second caution of the day comes out at lap 83 for Greg Biffle, who was very dominant early, and now it looks like his race is done. Remember, Biffle came in here last year second in the Nextel Cup points. He comes in here 18th and will likely leave here out of the top 20.
Just remember this race, the fall race here last year. What a terrible day he had here then. He spun out a couple of times, had a lug nut problem. Probably cost him a championship. And you can see all these folks here are very upset, Doug, and
his girlfriend Nicole.
Nicole, they're all just very upset. I can take a look here and see if we can see what happened.
Right in the middle of your screen. Here it comes.
Ooh, he got turned on the straightaway.
Yes, he did. Ooh.
That was Kurt Busch and the two-car behind him.
I believe Kurt Busch may have lifted him up. Just what we were talking about on the pit road entrance there a minute ago with Kentz's car. These noses just fit right up under the back of the bumper of the car in front of you.
From David Stremme. I think that was Dave Blaney that brushed the wall. Folks, we're going to make pit stops. How about you grab that volume knob and crank it up?
There's no words. You don't have to explain that one. That's one of those things that you cannot do on a super speedway, run these speeds. It's a form of, or kind of like, well, the only excuse I could make there is Biffle was down and he moved up in front of him. And Kurt probably should have been on his toes a little bit better and been ready for that, anticipated that.
I like you're saying, no give and take there.
No, that was definitely a time when you should have given.
Jeff Burton last week, Greg Biffle this week. Kurt Busch is making few friends. And worse, they can't get Cope's car restarted. Tony's having a little fun here. Brett Bodine, former competitor, former winner in the Nextel Cup Series, drives the pace car, truck.
Well, he's been able, we've watched him do this a lot, and he's been able to do it a lot because, I mean, the man has led more laps than anyone, and as he talked about in the pre-race, he's led at least one lap in all 7 races, including here today.
You know, he's got more Earnhardt tricks today than, you know, I mean, here he is giving the pace car a little bit of bump, doing this and that, looking a lot like the 7-time champion.
Enjoying.
More pounds the wall, puts us under caution for the 5th time today at lap 190. Hard hit.
Oh yeah, got it around backwards and up into the fence. I didn't see if anything happened to it or not.
He was running in the 10th position. Matt Yoakum.
Steve Addington asked JJ what happened. He says just got too loose on entry and I couldn't save it. Had a great run going. He had slowly faded back to 10th, but the car still solid Now their day heading back to the garage.
Started outside pole, his best career Nextel Cup start.
Well, that's one of those things that you have to learn as a rookie. You go through these learning experiences. I'm so loose. How hard do I push?
Look way on the right of your screen. Here he comes.
You know, I think he did that same thing in the Busch race yesterday. Kind of all by himself. Car got really bad loose. And he spun out yesterday.
Now look 3 cars ahead of Jeff Burton's view.
In front of you.
That's when you come along there and say, oh, please, stay up there, stay up there.
Larry, as the car rolled to the garage, it didn't look that bad.
Well, I think the big problem is the area where the rear spoiler and all is about destroyed, and you're not going to be able to run around this racetrack as fast as they're going with that area in trouble.
Get back to your story in a minute, Darrell, but this is the 6th caution of the day, and it comes out at lap 201.
And Newman was still on the lead lap. And remember, he was one of those cars like Kyle Busch that had to come back to pit road before that we restarted the race on the last caution.
He's driving off, Matt.
To fix the rocker skirt, so he was back in the pack.
Matt Borland, the crew chief, tell his crew to pack it up for today.
Yeah, when the crew chief steps off the box shaking his head, you know that's a bad sign.
And I tell you, we've talked about pleasant surprises in 2006. This has been one of the biggest disappointments in 2006, this 12 car, their performance on qualifying day as well as on race day.
Watching from Michael Waltrip.
See if anything happens up here.
This was the incident that you were talking about, Darrell, with Junior and Jeff Green.
Yeah, this is the Junior and Jeff Green battle here.
There's Newman sliding up. He was just in front of his teammate Kurt Busch, but didn't see what happened to cause him to slide up into the wall. Big fake out on pit road as Denny Hamlin drove toward pit road, and then
engine. And just remember now, these engines come from Evernhans Motorsports, and they've had a lot of problems as of late. So they headed straight to the garage with this car here.
Let's rejoin Darrell, Larry, and Mike.
I tell you one thing, that caution came in probably the nick of time, because that 9 was chasing the 99 down, and he was going to take first place here.
Hang on, baby.
I think the 24 is something around.
Big time.
hard crash for Carl Edwards at lap 257, caution flag number 8. So much side by side by side racing.
You just get the car on the outside of you and it just sucks you around.
And it's almost like every time this team fights back with a good run, they have something that fights them like this.
Well, kind of like I said yesterday, Larry, he needs to go back and see where that horseshoe fell out at. Because he fell out of his pocket somewhere over the winter. You'll see Gordon down on the inside. I think that I think 24 maybe gets, no, Carl gets loose. That's what happened. Come down and 24 was there.
Boy, Tony Stewart just gets by.
I don't know. You think Tony maybe got a piece of that?
If he didn't, it was very close.
Let's see from overhead. Stewart on the in-car radio reporting he's okay.
It sure looked like it. He clipped him when he went by.
Actually get into the side of Jeff Gordon, though, in that right door.
See right here, right here, right here. Ah, man,
That's as close as you can get without getting into it.
it was. Golly, that thing goes hard right there. That was an incredible lick on that inside wall.
So another past winner and another Roush Ford out of the race as Carl Edwards joins Greg Biffle to the garage.
And I hope he's all right. That was a hard lick to that inside. He hit that thing running wide.
Second to Elliott Sadler after leading 148 laps.
07 car just took off, and you know, here's Mark Martin. We talk about him all the time, 500 milers. He's up there in 9th place. And Bobby Labonte, who's having a great run today, guys, right there behind him in the 10th place.
43 car. Good run for these guys.
It's going to be a good points day for Mark.
Well, he came in here second in the points.
Going to gain a few on the 48. Not many, but a few.
Right now, Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car in the 12th position. I've got to believe if they can close the deal here with 2 laps to go, they'll be very relieved to finish 12th, because at one point he was 2 laps down in this race.
Yeah, he will leave here 12 points ahead of Matt Kenseth.
If everything stays the same for about another lap and a half.
Look at that. Is that guy, is he in any strain?
White flag, 1 to go for Casey
Look
Kane.
how relaxed he is in there. Look at his hands. They're not gripping the wheel. They're just holding the wheel. That car is on a rail, buddy.
26 years old tomorrow.
Up, little swerve there. Little wave.
All he needs to do is get through turn 3 and 4 one more time.
And Casey Kane will become the second Dodge to win here. The first man to win from the front row, the 11th different winner at Texas, Casey Kane, wins the Samsung RadioShack 500.
Clint Boyer in the 07 crashes on the backstretch going off into turn 3.
Well, Larry, he was giving up spots in a hurry, and the car got really loose with him. He was falling back through the field pretty hard.
And let's show you what happened to Clint Boyer on the last lap.
Oh, he was trying. I think he may have been trying to block the 5, and they made contact. No, he got sideways, and the 5 just had nowhere to go but to follow him. 5 did a pretty darn good job of keeping from running into him.
But definitely Clint got bad loose in the 07.
Yeah, I was watching him. He was falling back pretty hard, pretty in a big hurry.
Second win of 2006 for Casey Kane, who with this same car won at Atlanta from the pole. Clint Boyer's climbed out of his car. He is okay.
It's like a Texas-sized burnout coming here.
Let me tell you, one thing, if you blow up my motor, that's fine, but please don't tear up that race car.
Oh, no. Because Lowe's Motor Speedway is coming.
I got a plan for that, baby.
11 races, 11 different winners at the Great American Speedway.
Casey Kane will go to victory lane, and so will we. You're watching NASCAR on Fox.